open the public meeting for the Bellingham Planning Board for Thursday, July 14th, 2022. We have a continued public hearing. I'd like to emphasize it is a continued public hearing on 353 Maple Street. If I could ask the applicant to step forward. And Jim, before we hear from the applicant, can you give us an overview of where we stand from our last meeting?
Absolutely, yes. Good evening, everyone. Since our last meeting, the board had requested any final documentation to be incorporated into the record. We did receive, the board did have was in receipt of the plan sheets for the emergency access and the stormwater that was adjusted in accordance with our peer review. The request was to incorporate that into the plan set, and that has been officially incorporated into the plan set. So now if the board does move forward into rendering a decision, that is finalized and incorporated for the record. So at this time, we are in receipt of all documents that have been requested to date. But the public hearing is still open, so if there are any other items still to discuss by the board, and if not, then a motion to close the hearing before any discussion of a draft decision should be.
Okay. Before we close the public hearing, do you have anything you need to add?
No, Mr. Chairman, I don't. I guess for the record, Phil Mackey, 1256 Washington Street, Norwood, Massachusetts, is counsel for and on behalf of the applicant. Now that that's over with, no, we don't have anything else. We talked with Jim over the past week. He was kind enough to provide us with the draft decision. I'm sure it's gone through town council to get to you.
It has.
But as of what we saw on Friday, we are fine with everything.
Okay.
We have no comments.
Okay. Jim, is there anyone in the public that has anything to say?
No one online, no.
All right, seeing that, hearing that, what I would like to entertain is a motion at this point to close the public hearing. I will need a second. We have a motion that has been made to close the public hearing, has been seconded. Any discussion? Then I'd like to call for the vote. All in favor? And we have to do a roll call now, correct? We'll start to my left.
Aye.
You can vote. You can.
All right. Aye.
You can. It's public.
Aye.
Yep. So now that it's been done, it's time to move on.
Phil, aye too.
Okay, I didn't hear. Okay, thank you. I said aye as well. Have we had a chance to look at the development plan, stormwater management plan? I know we've seen the boxes. I asked for comments to be provided to the planning office.
You mean the decision?
The decision, yes.
Okay.
Jim, can you give us a quick overview, if you want?
Yeah, absolutely.
30,000 feet?
Yep, absolutely. So what you have before you this evening is actually 4 decisions, and I can start with the development plan. Each of these would need to be a motion separate.
Separate motions on each?
Yes, please, if we could. And if the chairman does want to appoint the associate for the special permits, he's welcome to do so.
Okay.
And so to start with the development plan decision, you'll see that the development plan and the major business is very similar. I'll highlight the differences once we get to this the major business. But the development plan permit goes into obviously the background section, which is your standard application materials that's been provided to the board. The proposal information, which is all the documentation that you've reviewed over the past 6 months. Determinations that have been specified throughout this hearing process, including items such as air quality, light concerns, traffic concerns, stormwater management concerns, noise concerns, all the things that you've discussed over this time. and rendering determinations on those through our analysis and through our peer review analysis. And then lastly, the decision, which many of them, as you guys are well versed now at this point because of your recent applications, the decisions, there are some standard and so some unique ones to this. The first being that, if there's any major changes, it does need to come back to this board to determine whether it's a major or minor modification. If it's a major modification, a public hearing would be required, which indicates that you would need to, or the applicant would need to notice all abutters. So one key note here is number 2 of the determined or decision conditions, making sure that berm is constructed early. That was a discussion that was had through public comment, and I think that's important in order to minimize noise directed towards Maple and High Street. Signage, if there's any changes, it should be presented back to this board. Landscaping will be maintained in perpetuity. Limitations, as we had quite a bit of discussion last time, limitations on noise and how to enforce that was spelled out in this. Some controls for when construction starts. Conservation agent would go out to make sure that all the erosion controls and everything else is in place. Limited work hours and maintaining the construction sites is the next few. Limiting light pollution and making sure that it's dark sky compliant. And then again, most of these, the remainder here is our standard conditions to make sure that all the environmental controls and other controls are in place. So that's kind of the high overview for the development plan. The development plan is a majority vote, so 3 out of 5, and the associate is unable to vote on this. I'm happy to go over each of them if you'd like.
Okay, I'd like to start, we've done the development plan, stormwater management. I'd entertain a motion.
I just ask Jim a quick question. Jim, to pick up on what we talked about last time, did you have an opportunity to ask town council, is this an amendment to the previous decision or is it a superseding decision?
So this is a modification. So yes, it's an amendment to the existing condition and it expands upon. And town council had a chance to review these and confirm or deemed the language adequate in the decision for that mechanics.
Great, thank you. I have no other question.
What's that?
I have no other question.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So I'm not gonna vote because I have an attendance. I missed a meeting.
Okay.
So I can't vote. So you wanna-
Make a motion to accept the favorable decision.
I'll second it.
So a motion on the floor that has been seconded on approval on this decision.
Do you want to appoint Rob?
I will appoint Rob to vote on this.
Sorry, Chairman, for development plan, the associate's unable to, so it would be,
I'm sorry, it's only special permit,
Is only, even if
correct.
he's needed?
yeah, he wouldn't be needed, so it would be 3 out of 5, so it still need to be a unanimous vote, but yes.
That's
Okay.
nothing, Rob.
Sorry. Shouldn't have showed up.
You calling for the vote?
Yes, I'm calling for the vote.
Aye.
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 That motion passes unanimously. Jim, I'd like to move on to the special permit modification. I would like to appoint the associate to vote on the special permit modification.
Excellent. So yes, with this one, it's almost identical to the development plan. Over the years, with these decisions, we've modified how we've structured it to work for both cases, being the applicant and the town. And so this has the same conditions as that of the development plan, but the monetary donations are incorporated into the special permit so not to duplicate that narrative, so that does not cause confusion and thinking that the applicant needs to donate in duplicate.
Jim, I
So,
have no problem with that. If we want to put in every decision, I'm fine.
understood. But so with this major development or major business complex, it's really condition 4 and 5 that are different, and this is referring to traffic mitigation and for the street, the clean street program that has been established by this board. So that's really the only major change to this permit.
Thank you. And thank you to the applicant. Anyone have any questions? I would entertain a motion to approve the 351, 353 Maple Street Warehouse Major Business Complex Special Permit Modification decision.
I'll make a motion.
I'll need a second.
Second.
We have a motion on the floor. It has been seconded. You are allowed to vote on this.
Aye.
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 That motion passes unanimously. The next we have, Jim, is going to be the 351, 353 Maple Street Warehouse Flexible Parking Special Permit Modification Decision. We'd like to appoint the alternate to vote on this.
Excellent. And so this one's
Can you give an overview of this?
pardon?
Can you give us an overview?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So this is a rather succinct decision. It focuses strictly on the reduction of parking that's necessary here. And so it outlines the existing parking, what would be required with this addition and what is being proposed. So essentially what it boils down to, the grant of reduction of parking from the 373 required to 141 necessary here. And as we have verified through the process, the applicant has provided similar facilities, as well as having a few years now of quantitative data showing what truly is necessary there, and we haven't had any parking concerns, at least to my knowledge. So it's a reduction just to illustrate that. That's really the highlights of that one.
And I believe overall that's good for the environment and the aquifer. So I would entertain a motion to approve the flexible parking special permit modification for 351, 353
I'll make a motion.
Maple Street. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we made the motion that's on the floor. It has been seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion also passes unanimously. The last item we have is a scenic road permit modification. This is not a special permit, it's a modification. So I believe 3 of us will be voting on this.
That's correct.
Jim, just give me an overview of this.
Absolutely. So this one just
Fairly simple.
Yeah, so this is, again, just kind of it's a very specific modification to the scenic road bylaw and the general bylaw, which references any trees and stone walls impacted by development on a scenic road. As noted through the plan proposal and submission, there are no scenic or no trees or walls being impacted by this addition. And so it demonstrates that there. If that does change, it would have to come back to this board.
We all have a chance to read that. I would entertain a motion to approve the scenic road modification decision.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Call for the vote.
Aye.
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 That motion also passes unanimously. So that brings us to the end for 351, 353 Maple Street. For the public, I just want them to know, Jim, can you go into a little detail? We now have some money, not only for cleaning the streets, but more importantly, I believe to smooth out part of that road.
Right, so yeah, mitigation goes towards Maple Street and improvements. The idea is when the project was put in place, there was some issues with utilities coming in after the fact. So this money would go towards improving Maple Street, specifically where that utility was. So right in front of essentially where Maple and High Street come together on Maple Street there. And then as you mentioned, we also were, the applicant was kind enough to donate for the improvements and cleaning up of the industrial areas and cleaning the streets, which I think is going to be a great program that you guys started.
Great. The applicant, has been a pleasure working with you and your partners.
Likewise.
I can't thank you enough. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks
Best of
very
luck.
much, gentlemen. Have a
Thank
great
you.
evening. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Well, thank you.
I'm so sorry that I didn't get back to you. No big deal. All right.
Take care.
Thank you.
Do we want to sign these after the meeting?
Yes,
That work? Okay.
correct. Jim, the next item on the agenda is going to be Bellingham Shores major residential complex special permit, condition number 18. Do you want me to read that, or?
No, that's quite all right. This is general business. It's the applicant is coming back before you to review condition 18. I believe the applicant is prepared to highlight what condition 18 references and how they're going to meet that condition 18. At the end of it, if the board agrees that the applicant is meeting the intent of condition 18, just a simple motion to that effect so that the applicant continue on with their development.
Okay. For the benefit of the public, do we have any pictures available?
I do have PowerPoint. I know, is Steve O'Connell present?
He's not here.
No, he's not here. The applicant's here, but I'm not the tech guy. Unfortunately, Steve is.
Understood. I can pull it up actually if you'd
Oh,
like.
beautiful, beautiful. I was hoping that.
All right. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Excellent. And so just let me know if you, well, I guess I mean, if you'd like to lead the presentation, you're welcome to. I can also go into detail if you like.
That's totally fine, Jim. It's pretty straightforward. I thought I'd come in person after this, and it seems relatively easy, and just give the a board a kind of an update of where we were with the project as well after this.
Okay, that sounds good. So what you have in front of you is the condition 18, which references that the board shall require a minimum of 6 building styles be constructed at Bellingham Shores. These styles shall be reviewed and approved at a public meeting of the board prior to commencement of building construction. As you see in there, it gets into a little bit of the nitty-gritty in terms of no more than 2 buildings of the same style shall be sited directly adjacent to one another. And so we will achieve that through the applicant working with the building inspector and submitting these designs as they continue on to confirm that no 2 styles will be the same directly next to each other, and the building commissioner is on board with that. In addition, no single family home shall have the same front setback as its direct abutter. And lastly, no more than 50% of the single family homes shall have a garage front facade sited with lesser front setback than the front primary entrance facade of the single family home. And really, I know as the developer came in, we had some good discussions about that to clarify that. So I think we're all on the same page there. And what the board was indicating was simply, we'd like to see varied setbacks, and for those garages to be slightly set back from the front facade for the majority of them, so that it's more of a welcoming, this is your home, rather than we're gonna go jump into our garages. And so I believe everyone's on board with that. Let's see. So the styles that were provided to you in your box here, so the Ashley here. These are actually, so one thing that I've noted, and I'm sure the applicant can talk more about it once we get through this, is the building designs do vary greatly, and they're rather large homes. So this one, 2,371 square feet. If you recall, this is an open space subdivision, so it's clustered subdivision with a lot of open space around it. These parcels are actually rather smaller than our standard lots. So these are larger homes on somewhat smaller lots. But that's, and I won't speak for the applicant, but that's what I've seen, at least as a trend, is, many folks wanting these larger homes with these smaller lots. So this goes through what you have in your package, each of the different styles, and I'll let the applicant speak more to the different styles and obviously open it up to the board.
Sure, absolutely. This particular subdivision, we wanted to try to achieve an architectural style similar to like a farmhouse style. That seemed to be some of the trends online. Everybody's, as they're flipping through the channels in COVID, have seen all the do-it-yourself shows and all that other stuff, and you see how everybody likes the farmhouse style. So it's a little bit of a variation of a cross between, a craftsman colonial and also the farmhouse. You'll see a lot of them have some of the beadboard, which is that vertical paneling on some of this stuff. All the windows will be matching the beadboard as well. All the front doors will be very similar. Like Jim said, we're not going to do two styles of the same one. We like to switch the development as we go. I think in my prior presentation, months ago with you guys, is unlike some of the other developers that like to play hopscotch around the development, we build right through one after another to create the neighborhood right off the bat. We don't go, well, I like that cul-de-sac location, that guy wants that.
They can't do that.
They can't buy it. So, and that's been our model for like at least 3 or 4 or 5 years, because it's great. Just everybody gets comfortable, their houses get done at the same time, and we just roll our construction right through the neighborhood.
And I think we had asked for a phasing program as well.
Yeah.
So I think that works in concert
Absolutely.
with our phasing.
Perfect. Yep. So that's been awesome. I think some of the units range from 2,300 to 2,800 square feet. A lot of the first floor masters are becoming popular. I was a younger guy, but I have first floor master as well at home, and that seems to be the wave of the future. It's very popular, especially for the aging people.
They can get out of control sometimes, so it's just kind of.
What also we found is some people still like having, they're not ready for a condominium project for the first floor master, so they still want to achieve and have a yard in a neighborhood and mow the lawn and plant the grass and do their gardening and stuff in front of the units and things like that. And we just finished a very similar neighborhood in Grafton, which was 31 homes, and the similar square footage of the lots and similar size square footage of the units, and they're very successful. So again, there's 7 different units here, and again, the architectural does vary. We'd like to make the neighborhood look not like a barracks or a military barracks, all the same thing, and we play with the elevation. We do farmers' porches and things like that. So, that's pretty much it.
I'll just speak for myself here before I turn it over. I was impressed. I think you've enhanced it from what we asked the previous developer to do. I think these are slightly, Jim, these are a little bigger than what the previous developer had planned, correct?
Yeah, based on similar projects that they've done, yeah, these are a little bit bigger homes, and in my opinion, a little better laid out, perhaps.
Okay. I'll turn it over to any questions from the board?
No, I'm gonna ask something. You wanna, how about the color coding? What does that represent on the map there that you drew up?
The site overall map?
Yeah. different
That was
colors.
the phasing program.
Okay,
That was
I just-
the number for you
okay.
guys. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get back to that in a second when it comes my turn.
sure.
Any questions?
The beadboard, is that a composite, hardwood?
It's a composite, but it's actually a vinyl.
Okay.
Yep.
So all your exteriors are like that?
Yeah,
Vinyl?
yeah,
Okay.
yep. You can buy vinyl that looks like the
Yeah.
beadboard, yeah.
Can I mean,
So thank you for, we tried really hard to vary this project because we're very much concerned about, as you know, the previous developer was just gonna. So
Yeah.
the more you can make.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? Okay, just want to make sure we caught that on the minutes.
So the more you can do to make it look like an established.
Absolutely, that's what we like to
We're
do.
we're all in favor for. And then, Jim, can you go back to that display? I think it's the meadow, maybe, just quick. So any one of these can serve as the affordable, right? So
That's correct, yeah.
that one, the meadow, strikes me as very different from the other one.
That one I might be coming back here with, because that is the only one that is all first floor living.
Okay,
I'm varying it because it looks a tad bit out of place, so I'm experimenting with that.
yeah,
So probably within the next month or two, I'd probably come back here and say, this is my first floor. I'm exploring something more with larger gables on that first floor to make it look taller, so it blends together with the others a little bit more. It's kind of hard to do with first floor.
yeah, no, I get
And
it.
everything else is two-story, unfortunately.
My, we very much try to blend in the affordable units as best as we can.
You won't be able to tell, just like the 40B we've done in Grafton, can't be distinguishable. So if you went through this neighborhood, nobody's gonna have any idea where anybody lives in that.
So the objective is, when you drive down a street,
Yep.
you cannot tell.
That's absolutely correct. Yep.
However, they have baseline inside.
Yep.
And if you want to upgrade from the baseline, that's each individual choice.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Yeah. If you drove through our development in Grafton where there was 25% affordable, you have no idea.
and they'll be interdispersed
Yeah, and they're dispersed.
throughout the phasing.
We did a layout plan similar, I think, might have been submitted, and they are scattered per phase.
That's
So
fine.
each one, and we tried to do it as like, I'm not getting ahead of you guys either. It's kind of, well, I'm one behind here, but now I'm one ahead of you guys, kind of, so it works.
I think that was outlined in our
Okay.
phasing as well.
Okay, good.
I apologize for getting in front of it. Brian, anything else?
No, just if there's, we're sensitive to that, and if if there's a porch and all of them have porches and suddenly one doesn't.
Absolutely not, you will not, you guys will not know. Absolutely.
There's one in, I think it's Canton. It's, I don't know who built it, now they get, there's huge nice house, huge little tiny house.
Yeah, no, we're not, if that little one you saw doesn't mean it's all of them with that one, it's not, we're mixing them up.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. The house is really nice. I really like the selection. I think if you're doing what you say you're gonna do, it's really gonna look like a nice established neighborhood. Just quick question, because I wasn't on the board when this was going through permitting. So just two quick questions. The first one, this is on sewer, right? It's not on septic.
correct, yeah.
Okay, that's good, because I know bigger houses, smaller lots, and septic,
Sure, yeah.
they don't mix.
No.
And to that point, when you're trying to get these lots to work with the bigger houses, I imagine you'll probably, depending on the lot, try and integrate retaining walls, maybe walkout basements potentially.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you do that, like if some units have walkout basements and such, is that going to affect the affordable units or?
Not necessarily.
Oh,
No,
okay,
no.
all right. So, but no, I really, it looks really nice.
Yeah, the engineers have done quite a bit of work in advance for this particular project. I've laid out everything probably in advance,
Okay,
and I've laid out pretty much what the color control is, so it's not like you can have two gray houses right in a row either. So
All right.
I'm very kind of particular about what you're looking at.
awesome. Oh, great. That's all I had, so.
No, I don't have any question in that direction, but I was kind of interested, timeline, just in general.
Well,
I
the
mean,
timeline
just
when I
real
first
general.
came here, I was all gung ho to get
Yeah,
going.
yeah.
And what we found out, I think it was in front of you, I wasn't here, it was kind of during the COVID time. There was a few issues with the original plans that were approved.
Yep.
And our engineers, we laid out we did some field work, we found some errors. So then we looked at the plan and tried to lessen the imported material, brought down the development, and would be less import and less trucks coming from wherever, Kimball's around the neighborhood to bring fill. And we got it all through conservation, so it worked out well. So there was a little bit of delay, but I think it was a win for everybody. Less traffic in the neighborhood, less fill for us, and the design still worked.
What type of time frame do you think it'll take you to get through a phase of it?
I'll be coming back here September, probably for a lot release in the first phase.
Okay.
So we're pretty much have all the sewer, most likely, it's all been pressure tested. They're working on the drain, so we're in good motion with the DPW and that enormous detention pond that probably everybody remembers is probably about 85% complete right now. It's massive.
With the clay core? With the clay core?
It looks like Gillette Stadium.
Is that the one with the clay core?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All been tested. Structural engineers been all certifying UTS testing, stuff like that.
Geotech's been involved
Yep,
with that?
Geotech, UTS, yeah.
Great.
So it's all been all good. Yeah.
And you feel comfortable with that, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, we do. Yeah.
Good. That's all.
All I'll say is I think I really like the modern farmhouse look. I think that it suits Bellingham. And I like that the garages set forward were mentioned, because depending on which way you're approaching them, sometimes a garage that's too far forward blocks out the view of the entire house. And as you approach, you're just looking at the side of the house. So I definitely agree that that's not something really, and it's a weird trend. You go into some of these newer neighborhoods and everybody has a garage.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, and then we'll play with the offset with the building department, so we'll stagger them a little as well. So you always have a motion going up and forth. You know, kind of like a laser. You kind of don't want a laser alignment. You want to stagger.
Correct.
4 feet.
That's one thing that we had talked about before.
Yeah.
One last question I have.
Yeah, I have one more.
Go ahead.
I just want.
One more?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, yeah. I just want to compliment you on keeping a nice controlled site. I've been by it multiple times. The water truck is like on a mission all the time, and I don't think we've had any complaints.
Well, we probably had one, because that's why I came here in person. And that's what I want to say. It was windy, 2-3 days ago was a massive windstorm.
Yes.
There was a massive amount of dust, and our water truck broke that we had a rental from. Their parts were supposed to come in from Kentucky. And what we ended up doing actually was driving to Revere, out of all places, and got another truck to come back to the site. So if they had water, they would have filled up and taken care of it, but they didn't. So if there was anybody that was upset or listening, we did make an attempt, and we went all the way to Revere on rush hour.
They were fabulous. It was fixed within by the end of the day. They took care of it. It was great.
We like I said during the first time,
Great.
we might make a few mistakes, but
You were right on
we'll
it.
try to be on
That's
top of
fine.
things.
It was great.
Yeah, it's not a nice road when you drive by, you know, for a construction site.
These things are understandable with the site that size.
You have any other questions?
Nope.
My last question is something you raised that just occurred to me. I know you don't want a lot of single-family homes. What if that becomes the trend over the next few years?
Well, it's still single. It's still.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, first
One floor, yes.
Yeah.
The more and more people want first floor homes, because it is an aging population.
Yeah, we started to. It's funny. We're doing a project right now in Millbury. There's 142 condos, and they're all single level condos. So they're not age restricted.
Okay.
But communities like that is a cash cow for the towns, because it's completely all private, as you're aware. No maintenance. All the road infrastructure sides taking care of the condo.
Yep.
Not a lot of kids, because what happens in the school affect the school systems, because we kind of age discriminate by design by saying there's only 2 bedrooms here. Typically, not a lot of kids live in 2 bedrooms.
Yep.
And then it's all first floor for somebody over.
Okay.
And they're not restricted to go sell them to anybody. Like I could buy one fine. But yeah, we see a great mix of having still the conventional subdivisions like this is.
Yep.
The only thing I did differently here is I threw in a little bit of the first floor master stuff. Why I did that was, say my kids are coming home from college or high school. I'm downstairs on the first floor. They're upstairs.
You don't hear?
They have their bath, and then one of the units actually has like a loft in there where you could have a TV or a video game room. So it's architecturally, we're doing a few little
Good.
tweaks. Yeah. So, but that's still going to remain strong as single families as well.
Good. Jim, we didn't made a motion on this, correct?
Yeah, I think that would be good for the record, yes.
Anyone in the public have anything they want to add?
Nothing here online.
Technically, do I need to close the public hearing?
No, it's not a hearing.
Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the changes made to Bellingham Shores Major Residential Complex Special Permit Condition number 18. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir. Best of
Thank you.
luck.
Yeah, we'll see you hopefully in September.
Okay.
If I stay on schedule.
Looking forward to it, sir.
Thank you very
We
much.
wish you luck with that.
Brings me to one last item of business. And I'm gonna embarrass someone again. Tina, outstanding job with the minutes.
Thank you.
I just want to publicly say that. It was impressive. Okay, we all had a chance to read the minutes. And do we have any changes?
No changes from them.
I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
So
And this is a vote for all of us. I have a, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion on the floor, it has been seconded to approve the minutes as written for the Thursday, June 23rd meeting of the Bellingham Planning Board. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I,
You can vote.
Aye.
Okay, aye.
Aye.
That motion passes unanimously. I would entertain a motion, Jim, unless there's anything else to adjourn.
Oh, nothing further here.
Looking good, Jim.
Brian, do you have anything you want to say before?
I have one. Jay, are you growing a beard? Or is it just a shadow, Jim?
No, it's like emojis. I've been no, it's
Brian,
being lazy.
we could have waited until after we were closing the
No,
public.
Jim Owen just clicks off. Like ass.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
All right.
Good night, Bellingham.